Hey everyone, got another unboxing for you. This time it is ZURMAT, a game by Tim Densham over at Catastrophe Games. This title is a pre-production copy. It's not a full-run production copy. It's just what they put together for gosh, I'm terrible with the words here today. You know what I'm saying? It's not what the end result is going to look like. We've got a really nice cover here, a very sturdy box that's about 2 inches wide, and then on the back here is a lot of lorem ipsum placeholder text. But as I said, it's a pre-production copy. It is not what's going to be on sale, but it's going to be pretty darn close, I think, just from having looked at what's here. So this is a game that I believe is near and dear to the heart of the designer Tim Densham. He served in Afghanistan, I believe, back in around 2008, which is what this game covers. It's described as sort of a coin game, but from the boots on the ground perspective. So you're not in the high level like Fire in the Lake or Andean Abyss or any of those other similar coin games by GMT. Of course, totally different company too. This is more of a commander's perspective on the ground or a soldier's perspective on the ground. And for that very reason, it's incredibly intriguing for me. I really like the design cover. I really wish there was something in the designer's notes about this. There might be. I've not read the whole thing, but this is really cool design. I really like how this looks. Very nice. And going from the very top here are some cubes for marking information in the game. I'll just show you really quick what these are. I believe they're not wooden cubes, they're plastic cubes and just normal size cubes for information marking. I'm guessing that the end result game is going to have something like that. And then in this nice big bag are a lot of other things that I'll just pull out here. I'm not entirely sure what some of these are, but I'm pretty sure that these are dice. Red for what I want to say is the Taliban forces, maybe. The green for the coalition. I could be wrong. And then there's blue in here as well. So this, I'm not sure how these align yet. I've not read the instructions fully. As I said, I've just kind of skimmed through it. We've got markers here, which I believe are populace tokens. You can see just kind of a generic marker there on the back. And then on the other side, whoops, is a different kind of icon. And you can see there's different ones here. There's a green one. So yeah, that's a different population. I believe they start on this side and each player lays them out on the table. So the other side doesn't know what kind of a population token it is until it's flipped over. So there's hidden information in this. And as I said, it's a 2-player game. So there might be some ways that you could maybe play it solo. I don't know. That's something I'm going to look at here. Maybe I can play it solo and report on that later. More of the cubes. There's a 1 black die. I remember reading that in the book. I'm not sure what those symbols signify, but that looks like an explosion. That looks like a big rock. So I'm sure I'm wrong about what those portray exactly, so I won't even try to hazard a guess. But we'll put this aside for right now. Still more goodies to get to, but here is what the rulebook is. It's, of course, just regular regular printer paper stapled up here at the top, but it's full color and it doesn't look like it's really too complex. The text is pretty large. It gives you a pretty clear game setup and overview. I'll read a little bit about this overview in case you're not familiar with it. ZURMAT is a 2-player coalition versus the Taliban game played through a series of rounds, each representing 1 month of real time, during which players try to achieve their commander's objectives while always trying to gain control of the people's hearts and minds. Each round begins with a random event. Then the coalition player takes their turn, followed by the Taliban player. Each turn you will take an action and play cards, and may play cards, The game ends when winter arrives. Since winter cards are part of the deck of random events, the exact ending of the game may not be known until perhaps even the last turn of the game. So that's the overview. And there's a couple of pages of designer's notes here as well on the back. Terms, operations, combat procedure, credits, and an index, a very small index, but an index nevertheless, which is always a nice thing to have. Let's start back at the beginning here. Feels like there's maybe 12, 16 pages, something like that. So So we got game setup. Goal of the game. Your goal is to complete the missions assigned to you by your commander, represented by the objective cards, while winning over the hearts and minds of as many of the Afghan people as you can, represented by control of the map tiles. These accomplishments are represented in the game by victory points or VPs. The player who has the most VPs at the end of the game wins. I know we're really breaking new ground here. That is a note from the designer right there. I did not add that as sarcasm. He says it right there. I know we're really breaking new ground. Anyway, sequence of play, broken up into different phases, tells you the things you can do. Of course, different actions and operations you can take. Let's see, declare operations, attack operations. There are some color examples as well. Dice examples, patrolling, moving, tactics cards, coalition cards, Taliban cards, event card clarifications. And I want to say there's no, maybe not. I thought there was a glossary. Maybe that's right here on the back. There's a few terms listed there. So winning the game and then designer's notes. This is where I got what I knew about the game here from one of these paragraphs. Let's see where it is. Here we go. The second paragraph. Creating a counterinsurgency coin game was something I'd wanted to do ever since I returned from Afghanistan. There have been a few coin games published, but almost all of them are large, campaign-wide affairs. I wanted to put together a game about what it was like at the ground level, especially the aspect of not really knowing whether the people like you or want to blow your truck up. Hopefully this game is both fun to play and perhaps allows people to explore what decisions are made at the smallest level of a counterinsurgency. So that just, to me, sounds fascinating. So it's going to be an interesting insight into what he sees. We got a calendar board. It's a little flimsy here, but again, pre-production. I don't know if this is going to be it or if it's going to be mounted or if this might be the exact thing. But even if this is what you get, that's perfectly fine. I like the design. Here's looks like your calendar track here until you get into the winter months. And event cards, I believe, are played on there. The player boards, which are exactly the same, I believe. Attack, construct, declare, patrol, and recruit on both of them. Only difference is, of course, coalition and Taliban. Then we've got two little cloth bags, which are pretty decent. I'm guessing these might be in the finished product. And I tried to pop these back in, but some of them jumped out. So I'm not sure what exactly these portray. They look like terrain altering tiles, perhaps. Whoops. Got a little, what looks like a little house, perhaps, on one side, and then maybe there's a crater on the other side. So maybe that's a house and then a destroyed one. And there's another patch of it there. And then we have the terrain tiles here. So if you saw, you might have caught it here in this rule book. The setup is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these tiles. Each 9 or 10. Each player takes 5, I believe, and there's a forward operating base fob placed in the middle here, and then each player takes a certain number of tiles, and then they each take a turn laying one of them out. So they start on this side, so your opponent can't see what you're doing. I really like the back of these tiles, which I think these are probably going to be finished products, but they're all different. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here as far as some of these are like this purple stuff. I don't know what that is. If that's like farms, perhaps. And then we've got little towns, roads. Each one of these has a exit on each of the 4 sides. So you can, when you place one down, you can place another one however you want, I'm guessing. So you can make a good number of options. Let me see if I can find that forward operating base one so you can see what that looks like. There's a little village with a gully and a bridge over it in the middle. A couple of little roads. So some of them don't all cross in the middle like you might have seen here. Let's see, where's that fire base at? Villages, more gullies. Maybe it's in this little pile here. There's a little mountain, another mountain, and well, it's in here somewhere. I probably ran across it and I just didn't see it. But there's one center tile that's your forward operating base that you place in the center of everything. Then we have some Taliban cards, and we have the coalition cards. Then there's some more, I believe, for each side as well. These came to me with these wraps around them, like lengthwise and widthwise as well. So I'm assuming that this is how they would ship to you, and they'll be nice and tight in there. They're not going to fall apart or be scattered all over the box in shipment. So there's those. This one popped off, but that's because I opened it. So that is me. And we just got event cards. I can show you really quick what they look like. Poppy Harvest. So maybe that's what these are. Maybe these are fields of poppies, perhaps. Rains, election, winter, famine, bigger budgets, word of mouth. So different events that can occur in the game. And then there's action cards. I haven't opened those up yet. There's not too many of them. And there's 2 separate decks. So I don't know if that's like one for one side and one for the other. Perhaps that might be what it is. And then it looks like these are control markers. We've got Taliban markers on one side and coalition on the other. So that is it. That is ZURMAT, or hopefully I'm not pronouncing this wrong, but it looks like an intriguing game. I can't wait to give it a try. And hopefully this gives you a little bit more information on what the game is all about. So thanks for watching.